Ooh, okay. If you guys are Super Smash Bros. Fans, this should interest you quite a lot. So Masahiro Sakurai did an interview with Famitsu, and it revealed so much about the character development, design, and just character picking process for the last 3 Super Smash Bros. Characters, and the idea behind Super Smash Bros. 4 in general. So if you guys are a fan of this is really amazing stuff to really think about. And it was translated by Source Gaming, so full interview will be in the description if you want to go and check that out, because there's a lot to it. I did find kind of like a quick summary, so I'll be reading from that more than anything. But pretty much the main idea is 3 new characters as diverse as possible, and it reveals a lot of really interesting things. So first off, let's go and talk about Cloud, picked as a roster addition because most popular Final Fantasy character by far. Here's the thing about Cloud, definitely the people's character for the Final Fantasy franchise, because even if you've never played Final Fantasy VII, you know of Cloud. You've heard some kind of meme, you've heard some kind of story about how amazing he is, so it works for everyone. Now, I know a lot of super hardcore Final Fantasy fans that are like underground with, you know, oh man, I only like this obscure character from this game kind of thing. They weren't as pleased by the decision, but I think it's a good decision for everyone. So I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Cloud holds a Buster Sword, so he would definitely break the game balance, therefore, based on swinging, which does leave him vulnerable and has counterplay. So I think that this is pretty fair. Just the understanding of Cloud makes about as much direct sense as possible, and it's cool because it shows that Nintendo was looking at other franchises to say, hey, you're the most popular character, get over here into Smash, come on and join us. So at least there was like that kind of outside look. Caught a lot of people off guard. Like, wait, will Nintendo be able to get that Final Fantasy IP? Like, are they legit right now? And boom, of course it's gonna be Cloud if they could grab something like that. So that's pretty awesome. And then Corrin. Here's where things start to get interesting. Sakurai thought they were adding too many characters from Fire Emblem. Holy crap, he actually had concern about it. That's something right there, because when I first heard about, I think when everyone heard about Corrin, if you aren't a Final Fantasy fan, or not Final Fantasy, if you aren't a Fire Emblem fan, it meant nothing to you. You're like, well, first, it's a game that's out in Japan, and the West has almost no exposure to Corrin whatsoever. So it's kind of like, who is this guy? And even if you're like a super hardcore Final Fantasy fan, a lot of friends I knew said, why Corrin? Like, I guess he's okay, but then they went and listed off like 5 other people from the Final Fantasy franchise that would be a better fit, and they wouldn't need a sword. So that's another problem, that people, it's not just Fire Emblem, it's too many sword characters. Personally, I don't play sword characters, and I don't play Fire Emblem, so Corrin means nothing to me, that I'm not interested in sword characters, even though I think his aesthetic's cool with the dragon kind of thing going on for him, and it was really well implemented. It was received pretty negatively, even after speaking with development staff. He was assured Corrin would make for an interesting fighter. Definitely interesting fighter, can't argue with that, but seeing another sword character with a down B counter, that's all I saw on Facebook and Twitter for 3 days straight, because people were tired of it, and then the retaliation came back, like, well, there's only a couple of Fire Emblems, but look at all the Pokemon and Mario characters. So it started an unnecessary fight. I'm still on the side of, I don't think we need any more swords. I mean, Marth and Lucina are already kind of mirrors of each other, and it just shows, like, it's another sword character with different balance and maybe a different special moves kit. And if you like sword characters, maybe it might fit that small niche you're missing. If you're a Fire Emblem character, maybe you'll like it. It definitely wasn't as much of a slam dunk as Cloud was. So Corrin, I think it just kind of shows, yeah, there was at least a thought that maybe there's too many swords, maybe there's too many Fire Emblem, but he decided to go through with it anyways, mostly because the culture in Japan probably received it a lot better, because they actually have better exposure with the Fire Emblem franchise. And now time for Bayonetta. Top choice in votes in terms of characters Nintendo could actually negotiate to have in their game. Biggest one right here. Was a way to break the rare code and actually have Nintendo negotiate for Banjo, most likely, because as you can see, top choices were a pretty kind of big factor. You know, Cloud out of nowhere. If we're getting Final Fantasy, we're getting the most popular Final Fantasy character. If we're grabbing from the ballot, we need to get the most popular ballot characters. I saw a lot of people voting for like Banjo, K. Rool, a lot of other things, but again, it's all about the negotiation. It's not that they didn't want to put in the game. Most likely they just couldn't get it. I mean, if you think about Rare now belongs to Microsoft. Microsoft and Nintendo are competitors. You don't want to give that up, especially, I think one of the biggest things, once you think about it, is Rare just released their bundle, or Microsoft released the 30th anniversary Rare bundle. Why are you going to kind of muddle that release with your favorite Rare characters being thrown into Smash? Except maybe K. Rool is Nintendo. I'm not sure of how the relationship is for Rare, Microsoft, and Nintendo. So I think Banjo is like exclusively Microsoft at least, which is why we haven't had any Banjo games for like Wii U or something. But there are Donkey Kong games as well, and K. Rool is a trophy at least. He stresses negotiation here, so we don't really know what the state of Nintendo is and all of its characters and things that have shown up in Nintendo games before. So I guess we just have to go with what we have on this. So I think it gives a lot of insight right there. Had problems in terms of moving her from Bayonetta to Smash Bros. Because here's the fear. I think the reason why Bayonetta was such a slam dunk as well. I mean, like, it was a huge surprise to see Bayonetta because people thought it's not happening. She is way too sexual. If you throw her in Super Smash Bros., it becomes an M-rated game. It takes away from it being a kid-friendly game, is what people feared. Now, I think saying that M-rated is going a step too far, but that there were legitimate fears that, well, you can't take this brutally violent sexual character and then throw her into a for everyone kids game roughly. So fortunately they were actually able to do that. I think another fear would be, well, you could do it, but you strip everything that makes her so unique, so special, such an amazing character, and they were able to keep everything about her. She still has a little bit of that sexuality in there. You know, they snuck in a little bit of those fine moves, but at the same time she's not M-rated, she's not just absolutely out there way too sexual, but she still has enough character on top of it as well, so it works out really well. Combo oriented because, you know, that's just adaptation. You can't take everything from the game that's M-rated and make it work, so combo oriented, still nice, still really works out well, and I think this is a good insight. So overall, very, very fun interview. I wish we had more characters. Like, it's so unfortunate that this is the final character roster change, because if this wasn't, say we had 2 more characters, we knew like maybe 1 or 2 more were coming down the pipe, we could actually see the thought process behind it. We know what to maybe realistically vote for. Same with Shantae. I saw a lot of Shantae. Maybe they couldn't get her as an IP either. So maybe people would be able to vote realistically. Maybe Nintendo would be like, all right, out of the top 20 from the Smash character ballot, here's 5 we could actually get a hold of. Vote for them. Or also with Cloud, like, hey, they get a hold of a franchise we didn't think about and slap on a character in there. Boom, that works out pretty well. I mean, you can kind of look at it from Duck Hunt and Pac-Man and Sonic and Snake. The ones that they could actually get a hold of, you know, were the characters that people would represent, at least get a chuckle out of, like Duck Hunt. You know, it works out pretty well for everyone. So if you guys enjoyed this article, I think it's a fantastic interview and gives a lot of insight into the game that is unfortunately not getting updated. But you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have a nice day. Thank you for watching.